Hey, welcome back to Startup Screen Printing. My name is Jesse. Today I want to show you guys how I line my platen up on press. This is not something you have to do very often. If you swap platens, maybe you start off with the cardboard composite MDF platens and then you upgrade to the aluminums, then you have to swap. Or if you are switching back and forth between a sleeve platen or a pocket platen or something like that, then you'll have to adjust your platens. Another reason might be you switch to larger frames for your screens. You might need to adjust your platen there. But I just thought I would show you guys. It's super simple. It doesn't have to be very complicated. You don't have to make this harder than it is. And there's really no right or wrong way. There's just a way that works for you, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So first of all, I've got a screen frame here. This doesn't have the screen in it. This is an old one. So I'm just going to use this as illustrative purposes. So if I pull my platen up here, what we've got on these Riley 300 and any of the Riley Hopkins presses that have interchangeable platens, you're going to have this bracket here. And on this bracket, if I hold it up like this, you'll see that there's a bar on one side and there's not on the other. So this bar here essentially lines up with the edge of this arm on the press. So ideally, this should just butt up right to the edge of the bar, of the arm, so that you know exactly where this should be to center it on the arm of the press so that you could have the platen center. And we have this center notch here that's on both sides of the platen for these aluminum ones, and that can help line up as well. What I've done is I've put a piece of tape here on each of my arms. Once I got one platen lined up to the position that I like it to be, I added a piece of tape here so that I could measure. I put the platen on, I had it all lined up. Then I added a small piece of tape and measured the distance from the brace to the tape so that I would know, or, these guides here, so that I would know the distance for each arm. And I just did the same thing. And then that way I know each platen always goes to that point on the tape whenever I'm adding it back to the arm if I need to swap them out or adjust them. So as far as where your platen goes, like I said, there's no right or wrong way, really. There's just a way that, works best for you. And so the way you figure that out, for me, at least the way I figured it out, is I take a screen and, like I said, I only had to do this once, but I took a screen, figured out where I wanted the screen to be on the platen itself, where I wanted the print to be. Now, if you maybe have a smaller size screen or larger, or maybe you print just in the middle, you do one job per screen, you like to burn it just in the middle, then you might want to have your platen scooted down a little bit. You might want to have it, right about there so that you are in the center of the screen, but it's closer to the top of the shirt, or maybe, the middle of the shirt. Obviously you want to, if you have these types of platens, it's best to hang the seam of the collar right off the edge is what I do, so that the entire platen is nice and flat, the entire shirt. You don't have this seam sticking up here. And then you're going to go, usually it's 3 fingers, 4 fingers, somewhere in there, 3 to 4 inches down to the top of the print. Now that could change obviously based on what type of print you have. If if it's a super short print, it might go a little higher or lower, give or take. Just it's a visual thing, but typically it's a 3 to 4 fingers down from the seam is the beginning of the front print. So I'm going to push this platen all the way up against that bar so that I can know it's flush. And if you see this center line that I have here, you can see this is lined up with the center of this arm. And so then I pull this screen down. I like to have mine about an inch, half inch to an inch from the top of the platen, or the top of the screen frame. So if you look at my guide here that I have, this is what I use to line up my films when I have them, when I'm getting ready to burn. But if I set this over here, you can see I've got my screen frame, and then I've got about, this a little over an inch here to the top of the screen, or the top of the platen rather. And then that means I can hang off my shirt over here, and then my print's going to start somewhere in here. So I'm going to have, 3 to 4 fingers if I start the print right around in here. So I know that whenever I'm using my design software, when I'm using Illustrator and getting my output file prepped. So I based this template off of where I like to have my platens placed. Now, I did this template when I had the other press and it was different, so I need to update this. I just haven't done it yet. And when I do update it, I'll have this closer to the frame so that I'm more in line with what I actually have on press. So the way I have these set now, you can see if I swap this over for one that I already have set here, then you can see that I've got, you know, it's about a finger, so which is about a 1/2 inch. So if I swap this over, what I would do is just line up, you know, get one about where you want it. And again, this doesn't have to be a precise science, at least not that I'm aware of. I could be wrong. If you think otherwise or you have proof otherwise, let me know. But if I pull this back, you know, I'm a little too far there. That's about the same as what it was. Obviously, I'm not trying to line up to those. I already have them lined up and I'll use the tape. But all you got to do is just get it to a place that's comfortable for you. Like I said, if you print in the middle of the screen and you burn your image just one per screen, then, you know, scoot this platen down and have all of yours set to where the middle of the screen falls to the middle of the platen. I have mine set to where I can do a print at the top of the screen and it's going to be placed well on the shirt. And then I can flip this screen around and do it on the other side and it's going to, again, place well on the shirt. So I like it placed about here. If you haven't tried any placement yet, maybe give this a try and let me know, you know, if you think this works well for you. I hope it does. But really, I think the biggest thing is just that it doesn't have to be complicated. There is no right or wrong. Just give it a try and see what works for you. You know, once you get it in there, I like to just hold on the side. I like to do the bottom first. Clamp up the bottom bolts, and then I'll do the side one just kind of snug. I don't really kind of clamp that one down, and that gets, you know, it's not budging now, so that gets plenty of security with that placement of that platen. So now it's not moving, and I just replicate the same thing for however many, you know, print locations you have or however many platen arms you have. So that's it. It's easy. Doesn't have to be complicated, but thought I would show it anyways, just so you see how the process is for me, and hopefully that'll help you out. So that's my goal with all these videos. Just want to help. So let me know how I can continue to help you guys, what questions you have, things that I haven't covered yet, or maybe something I've covered that you'd like me to go into further detail for. So I want to make these videos for you. These are not for me and things that I want to talk about and things that I want to cover or discuss. I want it to be driven by what actually does help you. So let me know where you're at. Let me know how I can help you, and then let's go from there. So until the next time, hope you're following me on all the different locations. You can see those at startupscreenprinting.com. Be sure you sign up for the email newsletter, and we'll talk to you in the next video.